What have you sort of put your finger on to why the stoppage area has been?
Some of it's about we would call game knowledge, so people going in there that don't have the knowledge of where they should be. That's our responsibility, okay? And you might say, well, how can that be? Because you've got all week to do it. But all of a sudden, if I throw a Matty Yench in there who's been playing half-back all year, he doesn't know the intricate details of the stoppage work. And if you get 2 or 3 of those guys in there because you have to make like serious changes during a quarter, sometimes it becomes worse. Now, I'm not blaming Matty Yench. Please don't put Matty Yench's blame for stoppages here. Some of it is players who do play on a regular basis still not knowing it well enough. That's my responsibility. And some of it's just about intent, which is my responsibility. So you put all those together, if they all operate together, you get what you get, which was pretty distasteful. The quality of the group, Corey, means that after putting up 2 performances like we have, Brisbane Lions and the Kangaroos, good people will respond, and that's part of our response mechanism. We changed training a bit, but the quality of the training was as good as we've had for a long time. We normally train at a high quality. I think someone asked me the other day about our quality of training. I said it's been okay, but this has sort of stepped up again. And the intensity of it was very good. We did some different drills, which we needed to do. So that shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, particularly our supporters, that you have good quality of training. They would expect that. Sean went back, missed the game. Obviously went back with a great attitude and a really strong performance in the SANFL. And he basically replaced Brad Moran, and Brad was really disappointed with his game. Really disappointed, as I was as well. So with Sean's really good performance and Brad's poor performance, that swap to me was one that had to be made. I think the way the game's changed, Mark, would suit Brad Moran's qualities. What Brad's got to do is stay on the training track and try and remain injury-free so he can get continuity in his training and his preparation and playing. That's the key there. Get that right, and as I said, I think Brad's got a lot of qualities. Flexibility, where he can play. He's got great speed, big body, and under normal circumstances can play some pretty good AFL footy. But in this industry, you've got to play. You've got to be available to play. Tom, the mood of the group is, to their credit, has been. It's not positive as if everything's going really well and we're happy with what we're doing. But it hasn't been. Sometimes you can get a mood of a playing squad with a couple of really poor performances that it become, you start to withdraw within yourself and, not quite as buoyant around the club. I can say to our supporters that our group is very disappointed, but they're not wasting time on self-pity because we've got too much work to do, and it's, we're going to keep at it and we're going to keep at it and we're going to keep at it until we give the performance that our supporters are actually looking for. So, that's what I can report. And their attitude to the training and the workload has been very good.
Ben Hart said the one thing he thought you needed to turn around to make the side more competitive is pressure. Is that fair enough, do you think?
Yeah. I mean, every side talks about that now. And there's some sides who started off the season really well in that area and have probably started to drop off because to do that really well is high intensity week after week after week after week. And we're no different, Tom. And we need to lift our game significantly in that area. It's not super poor, but it's not to the level that gives us an opportunity for us to play our best footy when we're up at that level. They're in really good form, and I think, Tom, you spoke about the pressure. I think that's been acknowledged from a lot of the players from West Coast that, there's obviously been a few things, Graham, that have changed in their side, but probably the most noticeable one is the pressure they exert on the opposition. And if you look at their statistics, that just confirms that. And to me, that's visually, without sort of seeing them live, only on the video, that's a standout that John's been able to coach back into that team. So they're in good form, they're travelling well, they're moving forward as a footy club after a disappointing year last year. So we're coming off 2 bad losses, so the ball's back in our court, I would suggest. Well, yeah, I mean, we had that little scare with his knee, but luckily that turned out not to be as severe as it could have been. So he's played, I think, 2 games now back in the SANFL. First one was a bit rusty, as we would have expected, because he missed a couple. But last week he was starting to show some real signs. Now, for me, Andy Otten, in good, fit and healthy and good form, is in our side, just as Bernie Vince is. So hopefully Andy can continue his form, against the West Coast tomorrow. So, and he'll probably play mainly in defence somewhere.